Okay, now that once we've removed all the parts, inspect the gearbox for any internal damages, cracks on the metal, especially around the piston head area here. Check for cracks. As you can see, I took everything apart, completely disassembled, and I'm gonna show you how to put everything back. Just make sure you keep in mind that all these components are really crucial for the gun, and you would need every single piece for it to operate. So this is the air nozzle. So let's review air nozzle, tappet plate. I hope you can see that. Spring guide, gears, 3 different types. There's names from, but totally forgot. Anti-reversal latch. What is it? What a bitch! Look at that. It's lying there. Your cylinder. Basically, there's 2 components: the cylinder itself and the cylinder head, which is aluminum. Most guns don't come with aluminum or metal cylinder head. Mine, I just kind of took it out from another gun and then put it in and Teflon taped it for better compression. Right there. I really recommend you guys do that, especially if you don't have like double O-ring, and even if you have a double O-ring cylinder head. Make sure you take some Teflon tape, real cheap. You can find them at any hardware store. Wrap it around the piston with enough time that just so that it'll barely fit into the piston. So you really want a tight fit, and that way there's no air that's gonna escape from the side around the cylinder. And yeah, this is the piston itself. It's a polycarbonate standard. It came with the gun. Pretty nice. The first thing you want to notice is the wear on the teeth. Usually the first teeth, the major big one, will be the first one that wears out, and then a couple of the second or third teeth will wear out as well. Yeah, just make sure you keep track of that, because over time it will wear out completely. But for right now, I think this one's still good. Yeah, and that's a aluminum spring or piston. Where I forgot what this thing is called, but anyways, they're usually plastic with some sort of polycarbonate, but I upgraded mine to aluminum just for durability wise. So as you can see, this is all the gearbox. So I guess the big question comes is how to reassemble everything you see here. Well, that's where I'm gonna start. So let's start with the piston. Piston is always the easiest to do. You just take it and then you place it. You notice this hole right here? It will attach directly to the knob thing right here. That knob thing that will fit through there. So the opening side of the piston will be facing down, as in down that way. I mean, there's really no other way to attach them. So I mean, you attach them like that. You can't really put in the tappet plate because it's facing top. So you know, this makes sense. A lot of this is just common sense. Yeah, so it faces down, as you can see. See that? All right. Well, this actually might work better if you put the tappet plate in. Yeah, let's do that. So the air nozzle gets on top of this tappet plate. It goes directly there. Fuck. Alright, give me a second. Doing this with one hand is kind of hard. There we go. So, like so. We're going to attach it in between this lining right here, and it's the it should look something like this. You see that? You see how it comes in and out? This part is going to cover it's going to cover in between this. The spring is going to be in between this cover part right here. So like that. Go ahead and pull it all the way to the top, like so. Yeah. And your piston tube, the little tube nozzle right here, is going to go through here, through the back of this, the hole in this air nozzle. Oh, this camera sucks. gonna go in the hole right there. Voila! Everything fits. So yeah, that's the first start. Maybe this is a better camera positioning, so you can see everything. Yep. That's a lot better. Okay. Next thing you want to put in is the gears. I do have something to say about the shimming of the gears. I actually don't know how to do it correctly. All I know is that you shim it. Shimming is these little circular spacer, really is what they are, that goes into the nub that fits into the hole you see here. There's one, 2, and 3. First gear you want to put in is this big one. Actually, no. This bigger one, the biggest gear they have. Yeah, there we go. So we can put that in. Make sure the shim's on there. Yeah, everything looks nice. Yeah. Next, you attach this gear. You kind of have to pull the tappet plate up a little bit just to fit it underneath. And really what you want to do is leave the non-tooted side facing the piston. And that's going to be important later when you actually place in the piston itself. So yeah, everything's fitting. Yeah, see it? Yeah. See, this moves back and forth. This is what determines your semi and full auto type thing. Well, that and it feeds into BB. So yeah, so we got that in. Next is this gear. Put this down, and just do a quick check to make sure that all the gears are rotational, and there's nothing that's stopping them. So it should make a perfect circle. Okay. The wiring, just use something that won't, that's not sharp and won't cut the wires, and just kind of squeeze them down to their respective housing. I want to call it trenches. Trenches sounds cooler. Yeah, trench. Yep. Everything's fitting. All right, everything's bueno. Put in the piston itself. Bam. Alright. Just make sure you realize that there are teeth lining along the middle of the piston chamber, and you want to put the two teeth in between that of the piston itself, because it's meant to move back and forth in place. Yeah, and there's that. And the teeth are facing down towards the gear. Like I mentioned earlier, this should be non-tooted, because later on it won't fit if you try to put it in that way. So that, and then now we have the anti-reversal latch. There's a spring on it that's very delicate, so don't lose it. It's facing the the knob that's shorter on that side. And what you want to do is you take this gear out, and then you place it in the prospective hole that it goes in. That's relatively right there. Yeah. Alright. All the eggs are in the basket. We're G2G. Oh yeah, this spring. This spring kind of just hooks on like at this area right there. It hooks on here, and this knob right here, if you can see that. Yeah, that knob and this one. So this spring. You should use a screwdriver or a long rod that kind of just pulls it in. Makes your job a lot easier. But if you have a better way to do it, go for it. Fuck. This is annoying. I need something smaller. Haha. Smaller. There we go. Hooks in. Alright. The trigger and the spring on the trigger. It goes to the long side of the trigger nub. Sorry. This thing. Places into this like that. Yep. And then it will just go straight into the gear itself. To gearbox. You want to also push this this thing, this rod that sticks out from that spring inside. Sometimes it just doesn't want to stay. Or does it? Ooh, yes it does. Alright. And the last part, which is the toughest part to put in, is the spring. Depending on how strong the spring is, the more difficult it is. But I'm just using an SP110, which is relatively an M110 from Sistema. So yeah, you just put the spring in with the spring guide, of course. I really don't know which side to put in with the regular pitch. I just kind of stick it in the side. I mean, it does the same thing, so it's not really important. So yeah, you see, it goes into the spring guide. The spring guide has this little nub right here that's going to fit into this this little hole right there. Yeah, you see that? Or maybe you don't. Maybe you will. Yeah, you do. Right there. And then this is what I'm talking about. There's one underneath it. I'm facing it up, but I can't put the camera down. So again, also make sure this teeth thing is lying in the middle of the gearbox before you attach it. So go ahead and push it in. Be careful, don't knock your eye out. I've almost done that once. Use one hand to hold that down. Okay. And the piston. Maybe you need two hands. Well, everything's good. Alright. Yep. Just check for excess grease that doesn't need to be there. Clean it up. Yeah. And you want to place the plate back on top. Using one finger, slide it through the hole of the other plate of the gearbox and just kind of put it down gently. And everything should snap perfectly. You should hear that snap every time. If not, do not try to force it in, because you're more than likely have one or two component that's going to be stuck in between the gearbox. Like the anti-reversal latch might not be in place. The wiring especially might be stuck in between, so don't put too much force and try to squeeze it in. You'll cut the wire and you'll have to buy new wiring. It could be the anti-reversal, the safety lock here. This little thing stuck here. So yeah, but if you put it in correctly, you should just be able to put the gearbox, take it in and out. So as you can see, everything fits. I don't even have to hold it down; it'll stay. Just go ahead and put all your, you know, screws back, and you should be good. All right, wish you luck.